Hello and welcome to the evening news. My name is Dino. And here is the stories. Police in Westmoreland are being urged to be extra vigilant, on or off duty, as cronies of slain gangster Nicholas Evil Rubin could be seeking to avenge his death. Following the shooting, reports have surfaced that those members of the Delete Squad, a criminal gang operating out of Westmoreland, in which Rubin was a major player, have placed targets on the heads of members of the JCF. A policeman fatally shot in Clarendon. A policeman attached to the St. Catherine North Police Division was shot and killed in Sandy Bay, Clarendon early this morning. He has been identified as 32-year-old Justin Martin, who lived at Jacaranda Homes in St. Catherine. It is reported that at about 12:10 a.m., he was among patrons at the Pink and Pretty Bar in Sandy Bay when two men came up and brandished guns. Martin was identified as a policeman by the hoodlums, which resulted in a struggle. During the struggle, he was shot multiple times by his attackers. They stole his licensed firearm before escaping in an awaiting motor car. The policeman was rushed to the May Penn Hospital, where he succumbed to injuries. The Longville Park Police are investigating the matter. Illinois will allow some non-citizens to be police. A new law introduced in Illinois allows certain non-citizens to apply for police officer jobs. But they must be legally authorized to both work and carry a firearm in the country. Immigration law experts say this includes lawful permanent residents, or green card holders, as well as those in the country with permanent legal status, but not yet full citizens, such as refugees and asylees. Those on deferred action for childhood arrivals, or DACA, are technically listed as eligible, but they're currently prohibited from possessing firearms. Social media users are falsely claiming a new Illinois law will allow anyone who enters the country illegally to pursue a job in law enforcement. The legislation Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed last month, which takes effect next year, clearly states that only non-citizens who have work authorization and are legally permitted to carry a firearm qualify. An individual who is not a citizen but is legally authorized to work in the United States under federal law is authorized to apply for the position of the police officer, subject to all requirements and limitations other than citizenship, to which other applicants are subject, the law reads. State Representative Barbara Hernandez, an Aurora Democrat who sponsored the bill, HB 3751, said those in the country illegally don't qualify because they can't legally obtain firearms. Under federal law, only U.S. citizens, lawful permanent residents, and other people lawfully in the country can possess guns. Immigrants who would likely meet the criteria of the new law include green card holders and, potentially, those granted asylum, refugee, or another permanent status, said Lauren Aronson, director of the Immigration Law Clinic at the University of Illinois College of Law in Champaign. Those on temporary status, such as foreign nationals in the country on student, tourist, and employment-based visas, would not qualify, she said. PNP reportedly rejects Dennis Meadows' candidacy for Trelawney Northern. Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, Senator-turned-People's National Party member Dennis Meadows, has denied knowledge of being out of contention for selection as the party's candidate in Trelawney Northern. Meadows applied to represent the PNP in the constituency in February, months after ending his relationship with the JLP. IRI News Media TV has learned that Meadows, who made 3 failed bids to win the constituency for the JLP, will not get the nod to represent the PNP in the next parliamentary election due in 2025. A Gleaner source indicated that Meadows was informed by the party's secretariat. The source said a senior party member is being considered for the seat. The selection conference that was scheduled for later this month has been postponed. IRI News Media TV contacted Meadows, who confirmed that the conference was put off but denied that he was told that he will have to stand down. That's not my information. There was a scheduled August 19th selection conference where I'm the sole candidate. That postponement is nothing new. Multiple constituencies have had their conferences rescheduled for one reason or another, he said. There are those who have their agenda within the PNP that is not doing the PNP good service, he added. IRI News Media TV was not able to reach PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell for comment. Rockford fears dark days ahead after gunmen kill 3, injure 4 at party. Bloodstains that lined Rooston Road in Rockfort, Kingston on Friday, told the tale of the terrifying onslaught that transpired during a party Thursday night, leaving 3 people dead and 4 others nursing gun-related injuries. Those killed are 22-year-old Warren Benjamin, a fisherman of Adestra Road, Kingston 2, 19-year-old Raheem Walters, a construction worker of Belmont Road, Kingston, and an unidentified male believed to be in his mid-20s. The police say the unidentified man is about 5 feet 10 inches tall, with an owl tattooed on his neck and a lion on his left forearm. A resident of the community told IRI News Media TV that they have become so accustomed to multiple people dying in gun attacks that many are no longer moved by single fatal incidents. This latest bloodshed, however, has sent residents cowering in fear as mass shootings and killing in the area are notoriously synonymous with bloody reprisal attacks. Right now, them only make the community darker. Nobody will come here if they don't live here. The crowd shooting thing is what they are doing. From crowd gathering you can expect attacks. The shooting come off another incident a few weeks ago, the resident said. Detectives from the Major Investigation Division, MID, have been assigned to probe Thursday's deadly shooting. Reports from the Ellison Road Police are that at about 11 p.m., the 7 victims were among patrons at a topless Thursday party when a man stepped outside the bar and opened gunfire at the group. When the shooting subsided, 5 men and 2 women were seen with gunshot wounds. The police were summoned and they were taken to hospital. 3 of the victims were pronounced dead, while the others were admitted in stable condition. Never-ending gang war. An elderly resident told IRI News Media TV that the gang war in the community keeps reinventing itself. When people don't hear anything happening in Rockford, it's like they're using the downtime to plan an attack, the resident said. He too underscored that house bombings and mass killings were common practices for the gangsters, who he believes use the strength of outside forces to carry out attacks. As of July 29 this year, the East Kingston Police Division, in which Rockford is located, had recorded 29 murders, the same figure it did for the corresponding period in 2022. Reports of shootings, injured persons, rape, and robbery were showing a slight year-on-year decline. Break-ins, however, were up 17%. The national murder tally stands at 786, a 12% decline year-on-year. Syrian baby born under earthquake rubble turned 6 months, happily surrounded by her adopted family. Jindaris, Syria, AP, a baby girl who was born under the rubble of her family home destroyed by the deadly earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria 6 months ago is in good health, loves her adopted family, and likes to smile even to strangers. The dark-haired baby Afra survived 10 hours under the rubble after the February 6 earthquake crushed to death her parents and 4 siblings in the northern Syrian town of Jindaris. When she was found, her umbilical cord was still connected to her mother. Her story captivated the world at the time, and people from all over offered to adopt her. After spending days at a hospital in North Syria, Afra was released and handed over to her paternal aunt and her husband, who adopted her and are raising her along with their 5 daughters and 2 sons. Afra was handed over to her aunt's family days after a DNA test was conducted to make sure the girl and her aunt are biologically related, her adopted father, Khalil al-Sawadi, said. On Saturday, baby Afra was enjoying herself, swinging on a red swing hanging from the ceiling while al-Sawadi pushed her back and forth. "This girl is my daughter. She is exactly the same as my children," said al-Sawadi, sitting cross-legged with Afra on his lap. Al-Sawadi said he spends the day at an apartment he rented, but at night the family goes to a tent settlement to spend the night, as his children are still traumatized by the earthquake which killed more than 50,000 people in southern Turkey and northern Syria.